I'd like to wake everyone up. In case you don't know where you are, I'm going to ask us to do something together. So all you have to do is repeat after me. We are all in a hooker's dream. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Call a hooker forth, and here he comes. The beauty of dreaming, and what's so spectacular about that, when I'm looking out, all of you may not or may not have realized that you all began in that guy's head. Some time ago, he sat somewhere and he thought, what if? What if, blah, 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 blah. So many years later, we have a room full of people. The power of dreaming. And what's really interesting about that, everyone before me in some way, we're all talking about the same thing. It's the power of ideas and dreams. All connected. I've never met any of these people before, but all of the ideas are connected. That's the power of a hooker's dream. And I wanted to be there last night for the poetry slam, but I couldn't make it, so here is my poem based on a dream. A dream is an idea with wings. It cries, it sings, it bites, it stings. It brings something new that was not there before. For this dream to come true, you, each of you, must dream too. You don't need a key when you are the door. Thank you. Now, what I'm asking you to do is to take what you're going to get here today and do something with it. So many times you go somewhere and you get great information, but it doesn't leave the building. And I'm standing here as living proof. Some years ago, watching a TED Talk, I was disturbed by a person who spoke about what all of these people said, creativity, and how we're destroying and taking that away from our students. From that point on, I started looking at this in my school. I looked at it in other schools. He's absolutely right. We're making autonomous robots, and that bothered me. I started looking, dreaming of my own. How could this be different? What can we do to change this? That's how I ended up here, and I met Carl Hooker. And from that time, my life has not been the same. Everything has changed. But the difference is, you have to dream too. But there's something else. We're going to look at three quick things before I leave. The first thing is information. So many of us feel that's the most important thing. I'm going to go, I'm going to get A, I'm going to get B, I'm going to get C, or I'm going to get this book. Information is great, and you're going to get a lot of great information here, but information alone cannot solve your problems. Next, this is my favorite, inspiration. Some years ago, I followed Carl around a high school and an elementary school. What was so unique is these kids were following him. Hey, Carl Hooker. Hi, Carl. And I'm like, how do all these kids know you? Obviously, he's in the buildings a lot. I had never seen that before. What would that look like if everywhere I went, the kids followed me around to share things that they were working on? Thought that was a beautiful thing. I was inspired by that. Inspiration moves us. But this last thing that I'll talk about, the most important of all, you have to do your part. You're going to get these first two here, and I'm challenging you for this very last part. You have information, we'll give you inspiration, but your part is aspiration. You have to aspire. And the last speaker that was up here, it's so interesting. I thought about that same thing at our own school. We make these videos. But for you to then say to take it on a global level, with you 100%. But imagine, we just also talked about how we don't know what the world will look like. You influence that. But rather than teaching students to dream, why not show them how to dream? Why not you live out your dream? What has happened to the dreams you had when you started teaching? Are they still there? Are you waiting to take them out for something? If you are, now's the time. That's what I challenge you to do. Take whatever you get from here and bring it to life. And if you don't have anything, start thinking right now. Aspire to dream. But while you're here, I hope what happens to me happens to you. I met different people, and I started acting a little crazy. I made a suit out of tape. I went all in. You could say I got infected with this hooker's dream. And my hope for you is that you get infected too. Thank you very much.